It's finally time to talk about what I believe to be one of the most broken teams you can make on Global Dokkan to date, surrounding this STR kid BUU, who is still a monster even at 55%. So if you want to get the best out of this guy, make sure you are paying attention. And of course, I need to catch at least 7 people lacking with today's subscriber challenge, which is this. Be honest, very, very quick. If you've never had more than 1,200 stones at one time in your account because you suck at saving, you know who you are, you got caught lacking today, and you got to subscribe to the channel. It is what it is. But if you have had more than 1,200, I applaud you because you can save, and I will let you skip today's subscriber challenge. Let's hop straight into today's video. Now, I mentioned in the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Best Team Guide, which is out, by the way, on the channel, so take a look at that if you haven't already. But I mentioned in that video that to get the most out of these units, you obviously want to have them on a full 170 lead. Now, to do that for this STR Kid BUU, you have to run this unit as your leader. The only issue is I do not like this guy as your leader. Not only is he not really that great, but Majin Power, I mean, Majin Power is a fun category, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have a lot of top tier options. So what happens is you're going to be left with one really strong rotation that has this guy, and then the other rotations which are going to look a little bit lackluster and are probably going to get you killed. And the point of this video is to deliver to you a team that not only works well around this STR Kid BUU that makes him look really, really good, but can also survive on other rotations as well, so you can continue enjoying this guy even in late content. So because of that, we are not going to use this guy as our leader. I am not going to use a full 170 lead, but I'm going to justify why in just a second. So let's just go ahead and just kick him out there. So the leader we are going with for this team here is going to be the Sworn Enemies lead, LR AGL Full Power Frieza. You are actually missing 20%. I mean, technically it's 40% defense because it's, you know, this unit and then the leader, the friend lead, right? So in total, you're missing 40% defense, but I definitely think this team at the end of the day, it still works wonderfully. So just don't worry about that. But this guy as your lead, who's still one of the best LRs in the game, is definitely going to look really, really nice. He is a defensive stacking unit by himself. So even if you have him floating off, he's going to work very, very well in the third slot. He is an absolute monster. We all know that, all right? So the first main rotation of this team is going to be our STR Kid BUU, and then physical LR BUU tanks that transforms into Buuhan, okay? So first things first, before this unit transforms, this unit and STR Kid BUU, I believe, share 3 links, right? It's Majin, they share Majin, while standing tall, and Fierce Battle, right? Majin, yeah, so they share 2 key and 15% attack and defense. Then an extra 20% attack there and 20%. So they share 20, 40. They share 55% attack and 15% defense and 2 key. Even just, dude, just through 3 links. Which is why I always say, if you're going to pull for a Majin BUU type unit, you really want to level up their links, because a lot of power is going to come from this link. Now, I know what you guys are going to say, but Mr. Baby, Big Bad Bosses is definitely something you really want to have active. Well, keep in mind that this guy also does gain Big Bad Bosses when he transforms, so you can definitely activate that once he transforms. But the units I have on this team will also have Big Bad Bosses on the floating side of things, so you can still activate that regardless. So again, I built this team in this way on purpose, so just stay tuned for that, okay? But when this unit does transform, okay, you're going to share 4 links: Fierce Battle, Majin, while standing tall, and Big Bad Bosses. That's going to give a total of 80% attack, 40% defense, and 2 key. These two are going to cook wonderfully together. He is giving this guy is giving him 40% defense, which is the 40% you're actually missing from the leader skills. Like I told you, you're going to easily be able to make that up. And dude, this rotation is going to be literally invincible. This guy also stacks defense as well. So if you're in late game content and you don't really trust this guy's defense, you can really put this man in slot 1 and have him, you know, defend a little bit, and then have this man come out just shooting, just like incinerating, you know, whoever's in front of him. So keep that in mind. Our next rotation is going to be an interesting one. So we have another, you know, LR Full Power Frieza here. So this could be the friend or your LR Full Power Frieza. Obviously, if you don't have this guy, then probably try running the Exchange BUU as lead instead. But again, it runs Majin Power, which is not really the greatest category. But here, you're not only running a top-tier Dokkan Festival and a really good LR, but also one of the best LRs in the game as the leader and floating around as well. So you have a really, really powerful team. But again, this guy, you want him on one rotation at least, linked up with, I would say, the EZA Tech Golden Frieza. Now, this guy, I mean, definitely isn't the greatest pick of all time. But the reason why I like this guy a lot is because you're definitely going to be facing superclass enemies a majority of the time. So that extra buff of his is definitely going to kick in, especially the key part. But this guy is also recovering HP. And I wanted to include that because BUU units definitely recover a lot of HP. This guy recovers 10% HP at the start of turn. And then this guy recovers 20% HP in the same turn that he receives a hit. So at the it's okay. Wow, no English for a second. Okay. Once this guy gets hit at the end of the turn, he's going to recover that that same amount of HP, which is or not same amount, sorry, the 20% HP. So what happens is you enter a turn with these two, he heals 10%, then this guy gets hit that same turn, he heals 20% for the next turn, and then the next rotation you have these two where this guy is healing another 15%. So you have a team that's not only really strong, putting out a lot of damage, but also healing a lot per turn, which is definitely going to help, again, in long forms of content, which is why I really wanted to pick this guy as a unit. Does he heal in first form? He actually does, yeah. So he heals no matter what, even more than Buhan himself, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, so these two as a rotation are definitely going to work. They also both share big bad bosses, which is definitely going to massively improve their stats, so definitely keep that in mind. And both of these units also stack defense, which is really, really nice. Unfortunately, he doesn't stack defense in the golden form, but his defensive stacking is going to kick in. Like, if you give this guy full additionals and this guy's stacking defense as well, like, this is going to be a very strong defensive rotation, but also one where you're healing HP and doing a lot of damage. So these two rotations so far are doing a lot of damage, are healing a lot, and the defense is going to look really good. You have a defensive stacking unit here, defensive stacking unit here, and then boom, another unit who's healing a lot and is going to stack defense until it's golden form. So far, two really strong, you know, defensive, offensive, and healing rotations. Let's move on to our floating units, okay? So we are at, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units so far. A team is 7. So the 6th unit I want to put on the team is going to be what I like to call Dildo Frieza. Now, this guy is super, super important because he is a 3-key 40% support to the Sword Enemies category, who, by the way, these two units have, and these two units have. So, one rotation, when this guy is here on this rotation, even though he's not linking up the best with these guys, he is giving both of these units big bad bosses, which of course is a very powerful link. So, let's just say, for example, you have this guy stacking defense in slot 1, right? Because you want him to, you know, stack defense in slot 1, and then you have this guy in slot 2. This unit will not be activating big bad bosses because this unit doesn't have it yet because he didn't transform. But if he's in slot 2 and you have the 3rd form Frieza there, then he's going to be activating that for himself or for Kid BUU anyways, while supporting. So again, it turns out to be one massively powerful rotation, and this guy is also another really strong unit 2 who you can definitely depend on in that 3rd slot, especially when he's link leveled and especially when he's fully built up. So this guy's a great option to have on the team, and it's going to help the team look really, really strong. And dude, when he's on this rotation, it's literally ripped for any Goku or anything that you're facing. Just keep that in mind as well. All right, that's going to be the first rotation unit. We need one more unit to finish off this team. Now, on the Sworn Enemies category, there isn't really that many great options for another 3rd slot unit who is good defensively or could also like really support like this unit can. So I decided to pull up 3 different units here, and you can literally choose whichever one you have in your box, right? So I pulled up first these 2 Friezas here. These 2 Friezas, again, are on Sworn Enemies. These 2 are definitely going to be great, but mainly defensively. They're not really putting out that much damage, unfortunately. They're not going to be, you know, healing or anything like that. The main purpose of these 2 is to be able to reduce any damage received incoming in that 3rd slot. Now, because of all the healing that's going on this team, you're gonna be able to easily, you know, stay above the threshold that is needed, you know, for both of these units when to activate their damage reduction. But I feel like overall, this unit might actually be more consistent because, in terms of defensively consistent, because he still has damage reduction when his HP falls below 50% or 49%, sorry. But this unit, once you fall below 40%, you're done. You're literally just an L. Like you already lost. So overall, I feel like this guy could definitely be a better option. But in things like SBR or maybe even ESBR, like you might want to, like, again, these two are really, really good, and they can definitely help in that third slot to just mitigate any damage you're about to receive. But in case you don't have these guys done or EZA just yet, I did go with a nice free-to-play option of this LR free-to-play Prime Battle EZA'd LR First Form Pod Frieza. Very, very long name there, but this guy, again, is a very, very, very powerful option. But when you're running this guy, you definitely do not want to get the 18-key super attack. So the way this guy works is that he does activate Big Bad Bosses too. So even though he's a floating unit, he's going to activate Big Bad Bosses for STR Kid BUU. So you still, right, can activate this guy's Big Bad Bosses next to this guy, even though he doesn't have it just yet, because every floating unit on this team has Big Bad Bosses. So I made it that way specifically. So just because this guy doesn't have that link until he transforms, you can still activate it. Just, you know, keep that in mind. But anyways, this LR Frieza here, not only does he have the Big Bad Bosses link, okay, but he gets an extra 50% defense when attacking on in the first or third slot. Now, since he's floating, he's going to be in that third slot, so he's going to get 50% defense on super attack, on top of 50% defense, okay, on top of the double 150 leader skill of this Frieza here, on top of having Big Bad Bosses activated, which is definitely very, very powerful already. So he's going to be looking, he's not going to be looking the greatest defensively in the third slot, but definitely good. Now, you want to focus on his 12 key. His 12 key greatly raises, that's a 50% raise on his defense. If you're able to only get the 12 key, which should be relatively easy with this guy, you're going to be, defensively, you're going to be looking really, really good. If you manage to get an additional 12 key super attack with everything else active, this guy is going to look very, very good, very reliable in that last slot. You know, unless, you know, you're facing like a really powerful AGL enemy, then I can understand that. But if not, two great defensive raises with 50% of the start of turn, with his LR stats, with 50% on super attack, with the links he does have, it's going to be a very, very strong rotation indeed. So let me know what you guys think. Overall, like, just this guy is your lead, 1 rotation, 2 rotation, supports and support in the last slot, and boom, you're going to be looking very, very powerful. This guy can put up some really disgusting numbers as well. So you have here a very, very strong defensive team, a very strong offensive team, and a team that can also heal a lot, that will be healing every single turn. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You can definitely add a few other options that can make this team look a lot better as well, but I like this team because, again, there's just so much cohesion here. Now, the only issue is that if we were going to run this Majin Power, let me show you Majin Power, right? That's not what I meant to do. If you go to a Majin Power really quick, can I click on it? There we go. Majin Power is a good category, but you don't have, look at this. You have decent units here, but you don't have the amount of cohesion and power that these two can provide. That, like, there is no 3-key 40% support that's available for Majin Power right now. No LR that can do this, no free-to-play LR at least that can do this numbers just yet. So Majin Power is good, but I think we can all agree, no matter what team you build with Majin Power here, this team is definitely better. And I would definitely take this team and sacrifice the 20% defense from both leaders, but make it up with the amount of power and defense and healing this team can do. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, and peace.